If you want the run uncut, unapologetic from the jump. Ain't no politics in this club, just dirt from the streets and the creeks in the mud. Best podcast for the Seahawks, #1 sports talk, yeah, we got it on live. Every episode 12 hot takes, and we reppin' for Seattle, my place.
Hey there, it's the Take 12 podcast. I am Brett Davern, and he is Lofa Tutupu. Welcome to the show. On this episode, we talked about the Seahawks and the Cardinals, of course. We talked about winning, but also losing out on the playoffs. Lofa tells us what the Seahawks need next year, what they need to be doing in the offseason. And we just, we commiserate and look back on what this season was and how it will be remembered. We also look at the national championship game tonight. Lofa tells you who he thinks will win, sort of. Stay tuned for that. And he also walks us through his memories of playing in a national title game at USC in Miami. And so gather around, kids. Uncle Lofa's telling stories. Welcome to Take 12. Proudly brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. 2 locations in Western Washington, one of them in Everett and one of them in Fife. Go on in today. Do something different for lunch. Check them out. They got the hot dogs, the burgers, chili sauce or not. It's all delicious. French fries, corn dogs. Oh, a corn dog? So delicious. And then they also got the $3 meal deals. So check them out. And mention Take 12 and get a free hot dog with any other purchase. It's Wiener Schnitzel of Western Washington, everybody. All right, let's get to the conversation. Well, we can't win for losing, or we can't lose for winning, or we won but we lost, or I keep saying the Seahawks lost but they won, but we won but we're out. But
we won the battles. We lost the war.
Try explaining it to my mom. My mom is beside herself, Lofa. She can't figure it out. She's like, I don't understand. We won the game. We went for 2. Tyler Lockett caught the 2-point conversion. We're trying like hell to win. She's excited. She's jumping up and down. And then I said, yeah, but it doesn't matter. She goes, what?
For the record books. Counts for the records.
It's peace of mind. It's a moral victory. It's something to build on for next year. What is it?
It's the same thing we got last year without playoffs. If you want to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Both, they put up the graphic in the game. 6-3 starts last 2 years, and then terrible finishes. The exact same 9-8 finish. But last year, we got the help that we needed by the Lions and the Bears. They screwed us, to be frank.
Who you're mad at the Bears?
Absolutely. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Oh, no. I need a cough button.
They had just won 4 of their last 5. They're on fire. Brutal.
I should have known you'd come in mad at the Bears.
We did what we needed to do, but it was just too little too late.
Did we do what we needed to do? Did we do what we needed to do?
We won the game.
Though that one game. What? Yeah. I mean, let's look back through the schedule. Did we do what we needed to do this year?
No.
Can you make the playoffs in game 1?
Well, no, I think this is the other way around. You can't make the playoffs in the fourth quarter.
No. No, you really can't, can you? You got to lay that foundation early, man.
It's just wild to me because the way we've started the last 2 years is completely different from how we've started, during our great years. I'm talking about the Legion of Boom, Russ, Beast Mode era. We always kind of slow out the gate. And then from November on, we were untouchable, damn near.
Yeah.
And so to see it kind of flip, it's very confusing as to why we can't finish anymore.
Yeah. No, dude, I mean, the first game against the Rams was so disappointing, but they rallied back after that, and we went into Detroit. Remember that? And Detroit was going to wear the masks and all that, and it was this big... and we went in there and took care of business. And then Carolina, okay, we knocked them off. And then we go to New York, and we were all in New York for Monday night. We crushed them on Monday night. Crushed them.
It was beautiful.
Took their soul away on Monday night. We're 3-1. We're like, hey, the Rams game is a distant memory. That, you know what it was, dude? That bye week smacked us in the face, didn't it? Week 5.
No, it didn't. We were injured and we made it through that part of the schedule. We lost both of our tackles. They were both out still to that point.
Yeah.
And I thought Shane on the offense, and then defense was rolling too at that point.
Yeah.
We were like number 5 in rush defense, and to end up where we did, and I don't know how to explain that one. That was tough.
Yeah.
We ended up last in rush defense.
We lose the Bengals game, win the Cardinals game, win the Browns game, get smacked by the Ravens. I mean, you know what it was? And a lot of Seahawks fans were talking about this online. It's that second Rams game, dude. Losing by 1 point. It's that second Rams game in L.A.
Yep.
You get that game and you sail into the playoffs.
I still think about the Bengals, too. I still think about the Bengals and all the red zone opportunities. I think we had 2 turnovers in the red zone. Can't happen. Even had the final possession at the 10, and I think we got sacked or threw it away. We got sacked because that was the thing. You just throw it up for grabs. If it's another interception, it's another interception, but at least you gave DK or the guys a chance at it. So just missed opportunities, I think, when you look back at this season. But yeah.
Well, because there were some great games. I mean, some good wins. You know, over the Eagles, the last minute win, and then the last minute win the next week against the Titans. The Titans, they beat the Jaguars. Like, that win's looking better. You know,
including yesterday, we have 5 last minute wins, and we would have had 6 if we make the kick in the Rams game.
Yeah.
So a
pessimist could say those could be losses just as easy.
Absolutely. Oh, some of them probably should have been.
Snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Yeah.
And even I'm not over the Steelers loss last week.
Yeah.
When they give up 200 plus on the ground, when you know they're not going to drop back with Rudolph 40 times. So it's brutal, man.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I started laughing at my own question. Which game makes you the most mad? That's sort of how this season went, I think. You can just scroll through the schedule and say which one pissed you off the most.
Second Rams game.
The second Rams.
Second Rams games.
Yeah.
Rams game. They didn't even have Kyron Williams. They were trailing all the way until the 4th.
Yeah.
And then Gino puts together a great drive to give us a chance. We had miscues at the end, running that ball when we still had 15, 20 seconds. You can clock it and then try at least 2 more attempts. No timeouts left, so I know you can't stop the clock, but you can still make it an easier kick. I think it was a 53-yarder.
Yeah.
So, and there was like a goddamn windstorm in what is that, semi-closed roof or whatever it is?
Whatever that thing is, yeah.
But
the wind. Remember, Katie reported on the wind in the stadium. Yeah.
Almost blew Katie out of the stadium.
Almost.
Producer Katie was holding on to a goalpost.
Oh man. Yo, how about the wind in the stadium in Arizona though? Yesterday, if that thing doesn't get pushed a little bit to the right, that's an L on top of this at the end. I mean, because he had a 51-yarder to make it, huh?
He missed both of his to the right.
Yeah, he did. They could have won by 6 or 5 at the end. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to miss the second one. I'll be honest. I did the thing that I do. I said out loud, I said, oh, he's 100% going to make it. They're definitely going to lose. And then, of course, he missed it. That's my.
It was all you.
You're welcome, Seahawk fans.
Oh my God.
It works every once in a while. But,
I was at Moonshine Barbecue, Big Tom spot. Shout out to Moonshine.
Hell yeah.
Serving up some 51 Savage.
Woo.
And I guaranteed he was going to miss it. And some people were like leaving. They were paying their bill and taking off. I was like, where are you going? You stayed here through all of this.
Let's celebrate.
And this is kind of my message to the rest of Hawk Nation out there. You've been through all of this. It's going to get better. And look at the result right there with that field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sign of things to come.
Okay. I like that. A little positive spin.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Now tell me why. Because
we're undefeated in 2024. That's why.
I'll tell you what. Man, I'll tell you what, buddy. Because he could have made that. He should have made one of them. And then a lot of these last minute wins could have been losses. And this season was pretty mediocre. And, watching, like I said, you scroll back through, there's actually some really fun moments and some fun games. But overall, my feeling on this whole season is very meh, to borrow a word from my partner. It's just, buddy. Just, ugh. Like that game yesterday, I mean, they end up winning the game because Gino takes him down the field. And by the way, a great drive. We should, give some props probably, and we can talk about it. But they end the season with this win, but that whole game was even just sort of, ugh. Like the energy was just, that was the energy for a game you had to have, Did you feel like, I mean, you were serving up beers and having a good time, so your energy was probably great. But
I was still
on
watching,
the couch, it felt flat, man.
It did. I mean, they don't have anything to play for down there, the Cardinals, and they're playing spoiler, but they're fans. It's never been like a fucking rowdy area to go in.
Okay.
And I can't hear myself think. It's like, you got a full out conversation with the other team.
Have you ever met an actual Arizona Cardinals fan in the wild? Like someone who just said, "Hey, man, my team is the Cardinals." Because I haven't. I've never. I'm sorry. I haven't.
Not that comes to mind. No, I can't. I think I've met Larry Fitzgerald fans. I don't even know if they claim the Cardinals. They're just like, yeah, big Fitz fan.
I've never met someone at a party like you're just chatting and then they're, "Oh, I'm a big Cardinals fan." It's never happened. Never. Niners, sure. Rams now, but they live in LA. They're fake. That's not true. People in LA say they're a Rams fan, but that's not true. It's not real.
Yeah, we know you didn't go to the parade.
No, they didn't even go to the Super Bowl probably. Like it was in LA and they got there in the third quarter. You know how it was. You went to USC. Late arriving crowd sometimes. Come on now. Hey,
not when I was there.
That's true.
We put the asses in the seats.
I was going to say,
there
was something to watch.
At Epic Seats.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, Epic Seats, epicseats.com. Local Seattle company, everybody. If you're looking for seats, maybe you're in Houston today and you're looking for last minute, maybe somebody's trying to sell some national championship game tickets or something. Check out epicseats.com. They might have the seats for you. They've got the seats to everything else, that's for sure. epicseats.com. Use promo code TAKE12 or mention TAKE12 and take 12% off when you spend $100, or get an extra $12 per seat when you're selling with Epic Seats. The game specifically, Lofa, anything to really talk about from the game? I mean, the energy seemed flat, and my big Seahawk buddy was over. We were watching it together. That's what I call him. My big buddy. My big buddy was over, and we were just like sitting on the couch, just going like, "What is the effort? This just feels weird. Football feels weird now. Even the other games, watching it just feels weird. There's backup quarterbacks everywhere. It doesn't. It's the penalties seem strange. Away from the ball a lot of times." It's just the whole thing's
jump
weird.
Out? I would say 0 penalties. It's got to be the first time in the history of. That's what I'm looking at right now. I thought we would have had at least 1 or 2.
Wow.
0 penalties. That's insane.
That says
that's
to me
progress.
even the refs wanted to go home. It's like,
well, no. The Cardinals got 5. I'm saying the Hawks got 0 penalties.
Oh wow,
that's got to be a first.
Got to be,
right?
Has to be. There's a
Because
positive.
we're leading the league in penalties, and I think we still have the lead, a stronghold on that lead, by a good margin, even though we had 0 yesterday.
You got to lead the league in something.
50% on third down. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
327 total yards is kind of decent. It pales in comparison to their 466, which 200 of which came on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. They ran all over.
I didn't realize Connor had 150 yards. I mean, since I think going back like 10 weeks or whatever to week 10, this has been the number 1 rush offense in the NFL. So give them their credit, right?
Right.
This is what they do. And but 27 carries for 5.6, like that is
Well,
alarming.
when you were pouring those pitchers and when you were tapping those kegs at Moonshine, and you looked up and you saw the tackling and what as a all pro middle linebacker, did you just want to start vomiting all over the bar or?
I didn't see a ton of missed tackles.
Okay.
I just saw guys out of position.
Yeah.
So I saw a lack of discipline. No, their vision was not good. Their eyes were messed up. I'm stepping towards the pulling guard's going right, and you're stepping left. I didn't understand, like, and I think at this point guys are just pressing, right? Like I got to get there. And but yeah, on two of Connor's runs, he didn't even get touched. Like his touchdown run, there wasn't a missed tackle. There was nobody there to tackle.
Right.
That's even more concerning than the missed tackles. Is guys just being so far out of position that you don't even have an attempt at a tackle.
Well, how do we fix it for next year? Is it coaching or is it the players?
I don't know. Like I'm at a loss for words. Clint Hurt, I know him. He's a great coach. He changed the scheme to make it easier. Like even ran more four down, one gap scheme. You have one gap, shoot that fucking gap, and press the line of scrimmage. And we still didn't do it. And so it's like it didn't matter what he called. We definitely need some more help in the trenches. I know that much. We need some more depth. I'm fine with our starters. We need some guys behind them to really push them. And even when they go out of the game, we don't miss a beat. There's not a drastic drop off, in terms of holding that line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Offense was up and down a little bit, some 3 and outs, but overall, I feel like Gino was spinning a good ball out there. His yardage isn't very high, but I mean, the 2-point conversion was good. Tyler Lockett, hey, I called that. How about that? We called that. Tyler Lockett, back of the end zone, doing some Tyler Lockett things. So some bright spots there, but how will this season be remembered by you?
I think I said it earlier, missed opportunities, whether it was red zone, whether it was third down defense. Third down on offense, just not running the ball enough. It's just things that were right there for us to low hanging fruit. This is us. This is no identity, I think, is really what it comes down to on offense. Defense, I don't even know what words to use. There's so many problems in terms of just being on the same page, guys running wide open, missing tackles, fundamentals. Those are just knowing your play and then, executing.
It's strange too, because if you look at the names, if you just read the roster, Leonard Williams and Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, Reek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon. I mean, look, he's a Pro Bowler, so not much to pick apart there. But I'm just saying, if you look at the names,
Julian Love, Bobby Wagner,
Boye Mafe, Bobby Wagner. I mean, you know what I mean? You're like, what? They got to be a really stout defense. These guys have got to be just, taking care of business. But it didn't come together this year, did it?
No, not at all. I mean, there was a stretch early on where it looked promising. Like this was going to be back to one of those defenses that we had early on, 2012, 13, 14. Like they were putting up those kind of numbers statistically too. And it didn't happen. It hurts losing Chenna. I think that, especially when it happened, I said this is going to be a significant loss.
Yeah.
We have depth there, which is good, but he's a straight up ass kicker. He just beats the shit out of people. And that's what you need on defense. You need bullies. And, I don't think we had anything that we could really hang our hat on that side of the ball either. So you look at some of the great defense we had back in the day, no deep ball, with the Legion of Boom, and we're going to knock people out and we're going to stop the run.
Yeah.
You take those away, good luck to any offense. I don't care how talented they are, because you got guys running around scared, like they're going over across the middle and they're like looking for the hit and looking for the ball, like head on a swivel. So it's just another element that we need to get back to. And I'm not talking nothing dirty, but Witherspoon laid the boom every time he went out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like even yesterday, 185 pound DB head up with Connor, scoops him. He puts body on him, scoops him, and dumps him. Like that was one of the most beautiful plays I've seen all year, just because it was textbook.
Yeah. There was a shot of Pete after, I think it was after the touchdown run where he wasn't even touched, where Pete just looked kind of dumbfounded. Like he just had a look on his face. Did you see that? Where he was just kind of like, what are we doing? Like somebody get in front of him.
And I mean, I'll do a breakdown of it, this offseason because we got plenty of time now. But we were like within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. And the pressure that you put on, so now they went to the heavy formation, 3 tight ends, 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends. And he takes a jab step backwards or a power step. And this is the little things that you got to take it back to day one. You take a power step. All right, I'm not moving. We all moved left initially. The poles went right. This is the exact play what I was telling you about. Our eyes are messed up.
Yeah.
And now you got 2 to block Tariq Woolen, who Tariq, if anybody releases, he's got to go deep third still. So Tariq steps in there. He forces it back. There's nobody there to turn it back. We got to get Brooks and Bwagz over the top. And when you're playing at 3 yards within the line of scrimmage, like that block happened so quick that Brooks got pinned and Bobby just, it was too much space to cover to get there. And Connor's fast. That guy is a beast.
Man, so is Bobby Wagner too, by the way, though. Shout out. Because
absolutely.
All this talk of energy or whatever, I mean, Bobby Wagner, he is still bringing it on every play. There was the one where he got his hands on, I think it was Connor or the other guy, but just one-on-one. And it was like, it felt like old times because it was like, Bobby's got his hands on him. He's not going anywhere. And he doesn't. Like, he looked, Bobby looked frustrated, if I'm going to be honest, on a lot of stuff. Like, just like, he's sort of looking around like, where is everybody? You know what I mean? And he's still just doing his thing that he's always done, but he's kind of just, I don't know, he's sort of a one-man crew sometimes, it feels like, out there. I don't know. Yeah.
He had a good season.
Yeah.
Put up some numbers.
Yeah.
I think 182 tackles, 183. So he threatened, I think, because Brooksy's got the record. He was 1 shy of tying the record.
Wow.
Would have been cool to see them share it.
Jason Myers set a record for the most field goals, I think, for
35?
himself and also the Seahawks this year.
Yeah.
But that to me says they're not scoring touchdowns. No shade on Jason Myers, but when your kicker scored a lot of points.
Hey, no, you give my man credit because he misses one and you love to say, he's on my fantasy team.
All
right.
Well, that's what I thought, by the way. I dumped him after that one game. I dumped him after the Rams game, probably week 1. And then, of course, he sets a record. I should have kept him all year. Oh, well. I want him to make kicks that are worth 1 point, not worth 3 points. That's all.
I hear you.
Yeah. Come on now. So what else? What is the biggest thing that the Seahawks need going into next season? I know it's early.
Well,
it just ended yesterday, but what do they need?
Yeah. Help in the trenches, offense and defensively. That's really, we need, another guard. Olu's probably going to push Brown to start next year, so we'll see what happens. And then another guard. We got to get K9 and Charbonnet some running room. They both did well yesterday. How many times?
Shout out to K9 and Zach. They look good yesterday,
K9 got hit in the backfield 3 times and still got 30 yards on those 3 carries. And it's, you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And actually, if it wasn't, so here, I'll give you a little shout out to a UW Husky.
All right.
If it wasn't for Buda Baker, he on that 3rd run, K9 goes 70 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But of course Buda's there.
Man, he is a good safety.
The beast.
He's great. Yeah, watching the game, I was like, oh, he's good. I wish we had him. He's so fast. Yeah.
And he's tough.
Tough kid, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need tough on defense.
Yep. Hey, Delta Airlines, delta.com, everybody. I don't know. Is that what you're pointing at?
I was going to say that we
I don't know.
go, but instead
We gotta go?
We're going to keep going.
What?
We're good.
Flying Delta Airlines, everybody. Delta.com. You got to go?
Nope. Nope.
You fly Delta if you got to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good.
take
There
a
you
Delta
go.
flight right on out of here.
Okay.
The yardage is over for the season, though. If they would have made the playoffs, you guys would have got extra miles. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. If you guys are 12 status members, maybe you want to DM Seahawks players and be like, come on, man. I miss out on my extra, like, what would Gino have thrown for in a playoff game? 320? Something like that?
500.
Delta.com, everybody. Sign up for 12 status. It's the only airline we fly. Is Delta.com. McNasty jumped into the chat. So I feel like I should ask him if he's got anything. McNeil, you got anything from the deep, dark world of Seahawk fandom, the circles that you run in that you want to talk about this season before we move on and look around the rest of the league?
Whoever is leaving the team soon, I'm so excited for the last playoff run we get with certain people from the franchise.
Oh, okay. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what?
Wait, what do you
I just want one more deep playoff run with Pete Carroll.
Oh, you okay? Yeah. So yeah. He's contracted through next year.
He's through this year, and then there's an option
Oh.
for 25. But the option has to be exercised this offseason. Correct, McNeil?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then wait a minute.
I looked at his contract with my lawyer.
Thank you. I appreciate
Excuse
that.
me.
Yeah.
Right after the game, McNeil was like, "We gotta look at this contract
Oh,
real quick."
God, I gotta figure this out.
Wait, so hold on. Then we need to have this conversation. Then I thought he still had next year. So
He does.
well, no, it's an option. Are they going to exercise the
He's
option or?
Paid through 24.
Oh,
and then
okay.
25 is an option.
So then one more year, McNeil. Is that what you think?
Or two. One or two.
No. What do you want?
I mean, that's what the contract would state, McNeil. What do you think?
Yeah. What do you want?
I want him to be there for one more year, I think.
Okay.
I think
He softens at the end.
What?
no,
Do you want him for one more or two? Or 10?
Two. And the Seahawks won 52% of their games this year, by the way.
Stop it. Stop. Get out of here with that.
McNeil with the hard-hitting numbers.
Ouch. It's a Mariners
The
jab.
Mariners are happy
That's a
about it.
Mariners
It's
jab.
fine.
Lofa, Pete for one more or two more?
He's signed through one. You got to look at the age. What is he, 72?
Uh-huh.
We know he's signed for one. What do you want?
That's hard. Everybody
getting
loves
into
Pete,
it.
you know? Come on, it's hard. It's hard to talk about. And also, I mean, because look at what he's done for us and look at
All
what
I
he can
said-
do. It's tricky, Katie.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Lofa.
He's collecting his thoughts. Go ahead.
No, I got interrupted, so go ahead.
We interrupted McNasty
what
for
we
saying
do
the
around
exact
here.
same thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go, Brett.
Dude, who's coming next? That's what I want to know. Because I don't know if that person's on the staff right now, and I don't know if that person's in college or anything either as I look around. Like, who do you want to replace him with? Pete's the man. Look at everything he's done for us. Look at the way he connects with the players. The players clearly love him. The energy in the locker room after some of those big wins was off the charts. I don't think he's, like, lost the team or anything like that. So I say keep him around. I don't know what's with all the – if you look online, there's a lot of let's move on from Pete stuff. But, I mean, guys, like – Look around at some of the jobs these new coaches do. Be careful what you wish for.
If Pete gets fired or they don't pick up that 25, he will go anywhere and do the same thing and win.
Mm-hmm.
Still a winning season. I know we didn't
Yeah.
make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's a damn good coach and one that everyone would be lucky to have. And so I don't understand all the hate. We didn't make the playoffs. Of course, you think Pete's happy about that? I'm going to tell you right now, knowing Pete and the competitor he is, he won't sleep for a month. He'll lose sleep for a full month by not making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But, they fought. We went through a lot of injuries. And I know, it sounds like excuses. No, like this is the facts of what happened during our season.
They're a 9-8 football team, I think, right? I mean, I think they probably squeezed it out a little more than
The only reason I wanted playoffs is because anything can happen in playoffs.
Right.
Teams can get hot.
Right.
Like it's a game, a 1 week, like just like we try to like, paraphrase it in the league when we're doing interviews. It's like, oh well, we're just one game at a time. But no, the finality of the playoffs kind of just makes it that much more, that bigger of a game. And you're just like, okay, and you get your shit together and you go, and anything can happen. So that's why I wanted playoffs. I heard a lot of people like, well, we just ruined our draft pick by going for 2. And it's not about that. And when you're not picking in the top 5 anyways, so it's not like you have a chance at a generational talent anyways.
Right.
Like where
are we picking?
Anyways.
Do we know?
I think 16.
16 or so. So it would have been maybe a couple. I asked in the chat. I was like, how many spots? It was 2 or 3 spots.
Could have been as high as maybe 10, I think.
All right.
If we lost, we would have had the 13th overall.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, because it would have been 7-9 with a couple other teams, and I don't know how the tiebreaker would have went there. So, but yeah, it's just this for what we have right now. I don't see them bringing in somebody else and just catapulting us to the fucking Super Bowl. Like that's my opinion.
What, player or coach? You mean
coach?
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't see a guy coming in and just making this same roster believe, hey, we're Super Bowl. Like, no, Pete's that guy. Like, if he can't do it right now, nobody else is coming in and doing it with the squad.
Well, look at that game yesterday. I mean, that was a playoff game for them, and that was sort of the product on the field. Like, I don't know. I mean, I would have loved to have made the playoffs. We all would have loved to have made the playoffs. Wouldn't that have been fun? But look at the team. Like, I don't know. I mean, is that a playoff team? I don't know. Like, they had their... if the Bears had won the game, right? Like and that was our energy. Like we gave up 200 something yards on the ground in a game we had to have. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah. I'm not saying we deserve to be in the playoffs.
Come on,
I do think that's a playoff roster, and it's just shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Like shit didn't go our way like
Yeah.
it did last year.
Yeah.
And we didn't do enough down the stretch where we faced a lot of playoff teams. San Fran twice, Cowboys, Eagles. Like we ran the gauntlet and we hung tough with all of them. San Fran, the score got ugly, in the first one, but there wasn't the tail of the tape. We hung tough with them. So do we deserve to be in the playoffs? No. But is this a playoff roster? Yes. And I think we're just a couple pieces away.
Well, you gotta take care of business in the division. Sorry, you gotta take care of in the division. I mean, you 0-4 against the Rams and the Niners, and then we beat the Cardinals twice and beat them in the last second of the last game. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Score prediction challenge. Did anyone win the score prediction challenge, Producer Katie?
No.
No? All right. Rolls over till next year. Somebody remember how much money it is. We'll remember that. Our score prediction challenge is brought to you by Simply Seattle. Go to simplyseattle.com. Use promo code TAKE12 to take 12% off of anything over there. They have a lot of Husky merchandise at simplyseattle.com. Perhaps you'd like to pick up your Sugar Bowl champion t-shirts or whatever. You guys can do that. It's simplyseattle.com. And that leads me to talking about tonight or looking around the rest of the league. We'll have plenty of... Oh, by the way, programming note, Take 12 is not over for the season. We still go all the way through the playoffs. We talk once a week. We'll be talking about all the playoff games and any Seahawk news that comes out and all that kind of stuff. So you guys keep on tuning in. But Lofa, so more Seahawks stuff to come in the next few weeks. And I'm sure as news gets released or things happen. But let's switch gears a little bit. Tonight, there's a big time game. And if you look at the Space Needle, it's purple. And if you look around downtown Seattle, there's a lot of purple buildings. And there's a lot of lights on for the Dogs because it's a big one, man. I mean, both teams undefeated. We've talked about it. Classic rivalry, sort of going back a little bit. Classic uniforms. Big-time matchup in Houston. Can't wait to watch it. And you promised us last week that you would tell us who's going to win the game. So, what do you got?
Well, I have picked against the Huskies all season. Both times I took Oregon, and they proved me wrong. I took SC, and my boys let me down. You guys didn't prove me wrong. My boys let me down. So, there's a pattern there.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 times. It's not coincidence. That's a pattern. That's a streak.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep the streak alive, and I'm going to go Michigan. Just
Okay.
for you faithful
I'll take
Huskies
it.
out there. I'm taking a page out of Brett Davern's playbook, and I do hope the Huskies win, but I am taking Michigan to win this one.
I think it's just going to be, I told you guys last week, I'm nervous as heck. I don't want to pick, or I'm not making any predictions. I have no idea. My plan is to put it on the TV and then try to ignore it as much as possible, and keep my blood pressure down and my heart rate normal. But I think it's going to be just a great game, and I'm excited to watch it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it'll be an entertaining, very entertaining game, definitely.
It's always interesting to see who draws first blood, because the build up and the big stage, and just I remember playing in the national title and the Super Bowl, and just there's that tension in the air, and so I want to see who's most composed and poised for the moment. And of the 4 teams, I said Washington looked like they were not grateful to be there. They expected to be there, so that's why I think they really have that in their favor. And, I think they should keep rolling, but my MVP of the game is going to be Carson Bruner. Write that shit down.
Okay.
I'm saying 10 tackles and a turnover.
Wow. I love that. Right. Sign me up. Wait,
the kid's a machine.
I want you got to take us back to when you played in the Natty. And just walk us through what that's like from the player's perspective. What was that day like for you? Like, where were you? What'd you eat for breakfast? You know what I mean? Like, what was that? How were you feeling? What was that like?
We were in Miami for the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma. And, I think we expected to be in the Natty the year before, and we got left out for LSU or Oklahoma. So it felt like unfinished business that whole season. And then on top of it, it was like, okay, we get to face the team that kept us out of the dance last year. So it was personal. It wasn't just business. It was personal. And I mean, the final score, you could see 55-19. It was personal. But I remember we were staying at the Westin Diplomat in Miami. Place was amazing. Nicest hotel I'd ever been in,
Yeah.
a lot of us anyways at the time. And we're in Miami. It's beautiful weather out. And as we're arriving to the game, the sun's just starting to, go down. And so it was everything you imagined in your head as a kid. And then, to just get out there. And it was crazy. Like I said, who draws first blood? Their first possession, they went 92 yards. We slipped in coverage 3 times, but they converted 3 big third downs. And, there's some people freaking out. And I was like, fellas, relax. We slipped in coverage 3 times. Like, those were 3rd and longs that they were lucky to convert. And then I think we went on a 35-3 run after that. Liney and the boys made shit happen. Lendale White, Stevie Smith, I think he had like 3 or 4 touchdowns that game. It was insane. And then just knowing everybody's watching.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part, is like, we're the only game on, and this is for fucking everything.
Wow. Wow. I get chills as you talking about it. And then you played in the Super Bowl the next year?
Yeah. Yep. So I went from split natty, Super Bowl.
Damn.
Super Bowl is a shit show.
Why?
Fucking, just that fucking whole media week. It's just like, they don't have anything better to do, and it's just annoying. And it's just like the same questions over, and they're just trying to poke and try to stir shit up, and you're just like, I'm so over this. I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
Just get me to Sunday.
How is the game itself? Is it in normal game speed for you, or is it heightened because of the game that it is? Either of those games.
For me, it was just another game.
Huh.
It was just a normal game. like I said, I never got nervous for a game because I just felt like I put so much time into preparation. Like I was okay. I know what I'm doing. I know what they're trying to run. Like, it's just a matter of executing now.
Yeah.
And I think part of that comes from playing under Pete. I mean, I always felt that way when I was younger. Like even when I was like a sophomore playing up on varsity, I was like, oh, I belong here. Like, just got to do my job. But I could see how some people would probably like, I don't know, like in acting, what is it, stage fright?
Well, yeah, you can definitely get nervous to perform or have like a frightened sort of feeling, but you can also be a little too just juiced up and like not overconfident, but like in a way where like cuz something like this where you don't play till the evening, oh man, I'd be just like bouncing off the walls all day. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like how do you not get over juiced up to go out there? And then that can mess
they coach you up to do that.
Yeah,
like they tell you, hey, like it's not, stay off your feet, get your rest, hydrate, and just keep crushing some more film if we got that time. We don't play until tonight, and it's just they kind of tell you how to go through it, but
play a little ping pong with the guys.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe I was just too ignorant to know that I should be scared. I was like, I don't get it's football, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point. Back at those
what
ages, you're a little bit too young to like know this is really that big a deal too. Sometimes, right? Yeah,
this is another game.
So, not to be, I'm a nervous wreck right now, dude. I didn't even go to UW.
Are you?
I just, you know what I mean? I'm a nervous wreck. They're just my favorite. I can't. Oh, come on, let's go.
I'm excited for these kids, and I feel like the coolest thing from my game when we won it was we blew them out so bad that there was a lot of kids that had never played a snap of SC football that got in for the national championship game. I mean, they all get rings because they all worked their ass off. Every one of my brothers that went through everything that we did, I mean, we all did it together, but they didn't always get the glory and get the chance to have their name on a stat sheet but that's forever in history now. Guys that gave everything they did, just to be there and to finally get that opportunity. How wild is that like there's some guys that didn't play a single snap their whole career. They played in the national title game.
Yeah, that's awesome. That should be the goal of the starters every time, is to just to beat the brakes off the other team so bad that we get everybody in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fun. Oh, that's cool. Well, hopefully that can happen for my dogs tonight. There's other football to talk about. There's plenty more things to talk about. We'll talk about it on different episodes of Take 12. I guess, the theme song can run for a second. Were you surprised at the Miami Buffalo thing, or did that go how you thought it was going to go?
I thought Buffalo would win. They could have made it easier themselves without those turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
They could have throttled Miami. But, and that's for the division. I was other games. What was it? The Titans beating the Jags?
Titans beat the Jags, dude.
Oh, man.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Beast.
If it's his last performance in Tennessee, it's a great one. Unbelievable. And I think he passed Earl Campbell on the rushing list.
How about the mighty Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting into the playoffs with a 9-0 victory?
I love it. As a defender, I love it.
I saw
no
that
touchdown scored.
Is this a baseball game? What is this?
Yeah, it had to be brutal because
Wow.
That just the touchdown and the field goal wins that game.
Yeah.
But to shut them out, that's awesome to get into the playoffs. And that's what you need for the playoffs.
How about the poor New Orleans? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was where I was
New
going
Orleans
next. Go
Saints.
ahead.
Oh, the poor New Orleans Saints. They were in the playoffs for about an hour.
I mean, halftime they were tied, right? And then they lose by 31 or something like that. What about Jameis' decision to?
The Saints won. The Saints beat the brakes off the Falcons, but right. But then,
the Falcons are out. Yeah.
The Falcons are out. Yeah, but when the Packers won, they kicked the Saints out.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. The Saints were in with the win. They were in for like an hour and a half, and then.
But wait, what about the decision? They're in victory formation, and they hand it off.
What do you think?
Did you see?
Yeah, he was pissed. What do you? The coach
Oh
was
my
mad.
God.
What do you think?
Oh, he was heated. And I mean, yeah, if you're gonna run the ball, line up and run the ball. Like, don't give me this bullshit formation that we're not gonna go hard, and then I just see everybody put their hands up like touchdown.
Did you hear? Okay, but the players called it. Did you hear that the players called it? It was their choice. They wanted to run it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
is it Bush League or not?
It's definitely Bush League, but I think it probably, it points more towards leadership. And it's like, okay, do we have control, in terms of as a staff?
Yeah.
Like, do we have the respect of our players to not do something like that?
Interesting.
I think that's what it points to, it leads to. And
Well, karma, because they were in the playoffs for an hour and a half.
yeah, maybe they were pissed about that.
They fired a bunch of people. Arthur Smith is out. He got pissed at the Saints, but then he's out. So he's gone. And who else?
Well, it was tough. 3 years, 7-10, right? Identical record.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
It just they don't have a quarterback. But like, what do you? If you don't have a quarterback, then just hand Bijan Robinson 30 carries.
Yeah.
Like, every time you do, good things happen, and I just don't understand not doing that.
Yeah. See, I told you guys, lots to talk about. Lots to talk
Ron
about.
Rivera's out.
Ron Rivera's out.
Washington.
Yep. Lots to talk about. Come on back for Take 12 in the weeks to come.
There's going to be one or two more.
Oh, firings.
There will.
Uh-huh.
There always is. There's always like a surprise.
Oh, there's lots to talk about in the offseason. Absolutely. Well, in our offseason, which has started. Anyway.
It's begun.
Wah, wah. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening. Hands in the middle. Let's break it down.
Oh, you got us on this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, come on now. My breakdown today is listen. The Seahawks, they might be out, but the Dogs, they're still playing. So go Dogs on 3. Go Dogs on me. 1, 2, 3. Go Dogs!
Go Pac-12.